Hi, my name is John Berryhill. I'm an intellectual property attorney from Philadelphia. I primarily represent domain name registrants in domain name dispute proceedings. I've defended such cyber squatters as a gentleman who had decal.com and was selling decals, a gentleman who had snowboardsforsale.com and who was selling snowboards, a gentleman who had elephant.com for a website about elephants. All of these were the subject of overreaching trademark claims and dispute proceedings. I think the IRT has done a really good job in producing a number of very good proposals in a very short amount of time, and I'm impressed at the thoughtfulness that went into many of it, and I believe that going forward, the IRT will likely continue to exercise that thoughtfulness. It's hard to criticize, specific things. I mean, I can nibble around the edges like Mr. Tyndall on the URS. I think the URS is on the right track. I don't think it's there yet, and I think that the IRT suffers from, trademark abuse, trademark misuse is something of an abstract to many of the people who primarily do trademark enforcement. And as you proceed to drafting, I hope that you take input. Let me give you one example. In the URS, you have this requirement that a printout of the web page be filed at the time of the complaint. Okay. Last night, just before midnight, I filed a UDRP response in a case where a South Florida ISP has been using a domain name since 1996. Since 2002, they've had a later trademark owner from Germany in different goods and services pestering them about this domain name. Earlier this year, they had a server malfunction for a couple of weeks, and that's the point in time when this German company with the trademark took the snapshot of the website, filed the UDRP complaint, denied knowledge, or just ignored the fact that the domain name's been used for 13 years, and then it rolls. The built-in assumption that any particular snapshot chosen by a complainant is going to be representative of what the use of the domain name may not be the best assumption. The other thing that I really appreciate in the IRT report is the general principle that these policies are administrative policies. They are not intended to give trademark owners greater rights than they have in the real world. Now, today, a few minutes ago, you heard a sideways mention of a case that was decided by the Southern District Court of New York on this island in 1988. That case was Hearst v. Goldberger. It involved a claim against a New Jersey attorney who uses a variant of the term Esquire because he is an attorney. Hearst's complaint in that case was dismissed, and you lost, Mr. Neuger. This is not the forum for a second bite at the apple. Thank you.
John, so if a snapshot of a website at that moment is not, what could be supplied as evidence, or what's like an alternative?
I just think over-reliance on it. I mean, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. And things like archive.org are good, where a domain name has been in use a long time. Archive doesn't provide recent snapshots. But if someone hacks your website and puts porn on it, and then somebody else comes along and complains about it, the other things that we've seen in some of the generic domain name cases, like pig.com, is that if there are Google ads or automated paid advertising on a page, for a generic word, a arbitrary mark owner, will actually buy Google ads for things that are not related to their marks so that they can cause their ads to appear on those pages, and then they take the damning snapshot of an infringement. So, over-reliance on one particular snapshot, maybe a couple of snapshots over a period of time, but allowing an opportunity to rebut that evidence.
So John, these are all clear cases under the URS that it's not a slam dunk. You file your answer and say this is not the website that's been up there forever, and it's bounced.
And the UDRP itself was sold as being for clear-cut cases of bad faith cyber squatting. I mean, things tend to creep.
Point taken.